This is about giving you the full toolkit to communicate in the most powerful, the most effective way. It is not about a quick fix and learning something once and then moving on to the next topic. It is about you committing to becoming that next version of you, that more confident version of you, and you practicing showing up as her over and over again for weeks and months until you start to feel things shifting inside you in a more permanent way.
Welcome to The Art of Speaking Up, a podcast that helps professional women access the limitless potential that lies within them. I'm your host, Jessica Guzik, and my mission is to help you find that spark inside you that has the power to transform your career in ways you may not have thought possible. I'm so excited that you're here. And now, on to the show.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning into this bonus episode. If you have clicked play on this episode, then you know what we're talking about. Today, I am walking you through everything you need to know, hopefully everything you need to know about my program, The Art of Speaking Up Academy. So if you've been following my work, if you've been tuning into the past few episodes of the podcast, you know that right now, enrollment is open for this program. So the Art of Speaking Up Academy is officially open to sign up from now until the 23rd of May. Or if the program fills up before that date, then it will obviously close for enrollment. And I wanted to do this episode to help you better understand what you'll learn inside the program, who it's a good fit for, how it will support you professionally, what my coaching style is like, so you can kind of start to imagine what it might be like for you to be in that Zoom room with me and your cohort every week. And I'm also going to walk you through some of the most common questions that I've gotten from people who have been trying to figure out if this program is the right next step for them. And my goal is really to just help you learn more, help you tap into your intuition, help you get to a place where if you're thinking of joining and you're not sure if it's right for you, help you get to a place where you feel really good about your decision either way, and you feel like you understand what the program is and you know what path you desire. You know if it's something that you want to step into. And I will bring this up again at the end, but if there's anything you're still wondering that I haven't talked about, that I haven't answered in this episode, feel free to shoot me an email. I will drop my email in the show notes. It's jessica@theartofspeakingup.com, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can to help you kind of figure out if this space is the right space for you. I'm so excited to talk about it because I'm currently in the middle of the prior cohort. So I first launched this program back in November of last year. And I'm just about halfway through the program with this initial cohort of women who signed up back in November. And it's been really beautiful to witness their growth, their transformation, their progress, and how they've experienced the space. And so I'm feeling really excited to talk about it. So let's dive in. First thing we'll cover is basics. What is this program? So the Art of Speaking Up Academy is a professional development and coaching program intended to help you do two things. One is grow your confidence in meeting rooms, and two is elevate your communication skills to best in class. And when I say best in class, I mean best in class. This isn't for me about learning tips and tricks. This is about giving you the full toolkit to communicate in the most powerful, the most effective way. I spent most of my corporate career in rooms with executives, very often in rooms with C-suite level executives. And all of the communication that I built and that I did in my career was intended for those audiences. So I have a very deep skill set when it comes to the art of making a powerful impression in the room and the art of communicating super powerfully. And I plan to teach you that level of sophistication of communicating. And the wonderful thing is, highly sophisticated communication doesn't have to mean hard or complicated or difficult for you to learn. And in fact, all of the philosophies that I have around communication and the way that I teach you communication inside the Art of Speaking Up Academy is built on the premise that it should be both simple for you to learn and simple for you to apply, because that is when the learning sinks in the most deeply. And to piggyback off of what I just shared, the core components that make up the Art of Speaking Up Academy, the core two puzzle pieces that everything that you will learn inside the Art of Speaking Up Academy map back to are 1, confidence, and 2, communication skills. In my coaching and the work that I do, my really strong philosophy is that in order for you to stand out in that meeting room, you need both. You need the inner work on confidence. That's the mindset work. That's learning to navigate self-doubt and fear and self-criticism and the fear of having a voice in the room or feeling like you don't belong in the room. That piece is super, super foundational. And that piece is all about your inner world, how you feel, right? And going from shrinking away and hiding because of self-doubt and because of those feelings to learning how to take up more space in those rooms. And over time, learning how to feel more comfortable and solid in those rooms. So that's really the confidence and mindset piece. And then the skills piece is all about how to be very effective when you do speak, how to choose your words in a way that's going to land really effectively with your audience, how to speak in a way that really positions you as the leader and the authority in the room, which makes me smile because it's so fun to take up space in that way. And I love supporting women in that. So that is the goal of the program. And I'll talk to you a little more about the modules so that you have a sense of what those are. But first, I'll chat about who it's for. This is a program for women who are very career oriented and who really care about doing high quality work, being highly effective in their roles, and who want to grow into, higher impact paths in their career. And that means different things to different people, right? For some people, they want to climb the ladder really quickly. Some people just want to be really good at what they do and have a really positive impact on customers or on stakeholders, right? Whatever it means to you to be on a powerful path to leadership, that is who I designed this program for. And the way that you know it's for you is that a significant part of your job involves communication, being in rooms with other people, sharing updates with other people, going back and forth with your boss or with other people in your organization. If there are key components of your job that involve communication, being in meetings and working with other people, then this program is for you because the tools that you learned are designed to maximize your effectiveness in doing that. And I believe that that is the path to standing out. Maximizing your effectiveness in those rooms and in how you communicate is the path to expanded leadership, in my opinion, because anyone can get really good at execution. Most people can get really, really good at creating all the outputs and cranking out the documents and all of that stuff. But it's the people that have those really solid communication skills and are able to position themselves as the authority in a room full of people. Those are the people that tend to stand out from the sea of people who are willing to show up and do the hard work. It's the people with the strong, effective, powerful voice. And that is what I want to instill in you so that all of that hard work and all of that execution you do gets recognized, because your communication skills and your voice is like that packaging, that billboard that helps your talents and your execution get recognized. Unfortunately, working really, really hard is often not enough, and it's not the most efficient and effective path to having a big impact in your role and to elevating into leadership positions if that's something you desire. The most effective path is to pair that execution and pair all of that hard work with a strong voice, a strong presence in meetings, and super effective communication skills. That is why I created this program. It is a 6-month-long program, and I'll talk a little bit more about why it's 6 months long. And if you want to view the exact schedule, You can find that on my website. So I'll link below the page where you can learn more about the program, sign up, see the call dates and all those details. So I won't be going into details on like dates and call times, but I will walk you through at a high level the design of the curriculum so that you have a little bit more of a sense of what you'll be learning. And you can actually download the curriculum and look at it for yourself on the website. So if you go to jessguzikcoaching.com/academy and you scroll towards the middle, there's a button, a purple button that says download program, schedule, and curriculum. And that's where you will be able to find more detail on the modules and on what you'll learn. So I'm going to talk about them at a macro level in this episode, but if you want to learn more about them and dive deeper, I would definitely recommend downloading that. So there are 6 modules and they correspond to the 6 months of the program. So 1 module per month. So the first month, module 1 is confidence. The second module is executive presence. The third module is executive communication. The fourth module is assertiveness. The fifth module is called Own Your Voice, which is essentially thought leadership. And the sixth module is what I call badass leadership. And I've designed this program in a really deliberate way where we tackle confidence in month 1 because the foundational mindset work and coaching and learnings that you're going to get on confidence in that first month, we are going to be revisiting, integrating, and implementing throughout the entire program. So the thing about building confidence, the thing about shifting your mindset to be able to believe in yourself more and feel stronger and like fiery inside, the thing about all of that inner work is it's not just about learning an idea once or learning a concept once. It's about recognizing your own patterns and recognizing where you want to change and shift internally, and then revisiting that over and over and over and making those little shifts over and over and over enough times so that eventually the way that you feel inside, the way that you think about yourself, where your confidence levels are, all of that starts to permanently shift. So for that shift to happen, you need time to integrate and revisit. So everything that you're going to learn and get coached on and practice in month 1 of the program, we're going to continue coming back to those same themes over and over throughout the 6 months so that those mindset shifts can integrate more deeply and so that the confidence growth that you experience is strong and lasting and sustainable. It is not about a quick fix and learning something once and then moving on to the next topic. It is about you committing to becoming that next version of you, that more confident version of you, and you practicing showing up as her over and over again for weeks and months until you start to feel things shifting inside you in a more permanent way. That is the change process, and that is why we start with confidence. But of course, we don't only cover confidence. We also cover those other 5 modules, those other 5 buckets of communication that I talked about, because you're going to need those communication skills to go with the confidence, right? The confidence is the piece that gives you the courage to speak in the room, to have a voice, to turn on your camera in the Zoom meeting, to ask the question that you're afraid to ask, right? The confidence is what gets you over the ledge and into that new, courageous, bold behavior. But the communication skills are what helps you say the thing, ask the question, be in the meeting in a way that lands really powerfully and effectively for your audience and in a way that gets you noticed and builds a really powerful reputation. So that is why after working on the confidence piece, we then dive every month into a new core communication skill. And like I said, we will be diving into executive presence, executive communication, assertiveness, thought leadership, and what I call badass leadership as module 6. So you'll be doing both the mindset work and the work on communication skills throughout the 6 months, and they will work together and build together to help you develop that strong, commanding, authoritative, powerful voice, which makes me smile. Now, I'll share with you a little bit about my philosophy on what it even means to have a strong, powerful, authoritative voice in a room, because I have very strong, specific beliefs around that. But before I do, a quick reminder that if you want to go deeper into the curriculum and you want to see not just these six modules that I'm talking about, but if you actually want to see what subtopics are covered in each module and how it's all laid out, again, you can head over to the website and take a look at that. I think that's a lot easier to take in visually than for me to walk you through it on a podcast. So I'm giving you that high level overview, and then to dive in and see the modules and all of the topics that you're going to be learning about, you can find those on my website. Okay. Now, what does it mean to develop a strong, powerful, effective voice? What is so important for me is that this strong voice that you develop is authentic, that it is true to you, that it is your voice and not a voice that someone else thinks that you should adopt. What I really struggled with in my corporate career was I wanted to be confident and I wanted to feel confident and I wanted to communicate with confidence and exude authority and leadership in a room. But I felt so timid and so quiet and so afraid that it felt hard for me to imagine what that could sound like. And so I was kind of, encouraged to mimic communication styles that really didn't feel like me. And what I realized through my own journey of hosting this podcast, of being a theater performer, of evolving and building confidence in my corporate career, is that we all have a strong, confident voice inside us that's authentic to us. And it is that voice that is way more effective than any sort of fake, artificial, masky voice that we might adopt. And so my philosophy is that you already have it inside you, and your personality and your quirks and who you are and how you are, that doesn't need to change. What we're really doing is helping clear the way of all of the things that are getting in the way of you expressing that at work. Because I believe that when you feel solid inside, when you feel comfortable, when you trust yourself, when you have self-compassion, when you can navigate the imposter syndrome, I believe then you have what it takes naturally to show up powerfully in that meeting room. We just need to clear all the crap that is getting in the way of that. So I'm not trying to change you and help you find some voice that's different than who you are. I'm trying to help you find a voice that feels like you, so that at the end of a day of meetings, you don't feel exhausted because you've been wearing a mask the whole time. You feel energized because you've been showing up in those rooms as you, and it feels confident and it feels good and it's coming from who you are. So that is super important to me. And so I touched a little bit on why communication skills matter and what you'll learn. And now I'm going to talk just a little bit about the sessions and what it's like to be in the Zoom room. And, some of that, I'm not going to share all of it because some of it is just for you to experience when you're in the program. And I love the element of surprise and I love the element of mystery. And I think it is sometimes important to step into things with a really open mind and just kind of be ready for it and be ready to experience it. I find that mentality often helps people get really good results because they're just ready and they're open. But there are some things that I want you to know about my coaching style that are very important to me and very core to my values as a coach and my values that guide how I like to support women. This is something that if you don't coach with me or you haven't been in any of my programs, you might not necessarily know these things about me because they're more specific to my coaching. And I don't always talk about it as much on the podcast. So a few things about my coaching style and what it's like to be in a Zoom room with me and what kind of atmosphere I cultivate inside the Art of Speaking Up Academy and inside all of the coaching work that I do is the first is that it is really important for me to create a warm and welcoming space. It is so important that my clients feel very comfortable in my presence. And now, of course, I'm not perfect. I will not do this perfectly. I also hold a lot of privilege. So there might be times when I unintentionally create a space that is not welcoming. And so those things will happen. And I'm always open to fixing and repairing and working through those things. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that I won't always get it perfect and I won't always get it right. But my focus and intention will always be in this place of it is most important that my clients feel welcome and comfortable in this space, because I believe as a coach, we make our best progress and we achieve our deepest growth when we can relax, we can drop some of our pretenses, we can be who we are, we can be honest, and we can just be in community without worrying about having to be a certain way or talk a certain way or project a certain image. That is also why I've created this as a 6-month program, because the more time that we spend together, the more we are able to open up to each other, the more welcoming the space becomes, because we build connectedness, we build familiarity, and that really allows the work and the coaching to go even deeper. So that is really important to me, that this space feels welcoming. And I've tried to do that on the podcast too, not perfectly, but it's always been so important for me to have anyone who consumes my work feel like it's for them. Because I think there's a lot of career advice and workshops and things out there that feel like very elitist and very like, well, if you're struggling with this, or your voice is shaky, or you feel awkward, or whatever, like you need to fix that and something is wrong with you. My work is not like that. You get to bring all of who you are. There is nothing wrong with it. There is no inherent problem with it. We're just trying to help you work through it if it's getting in the way of you speaking as the strongest, most confident, most talented, authentic version of you. So the welcoming component is super important to me. The other thing that's very important to me in my coaching space and in this group program is that participation is always opt-in. I don't like forcing people. I don't like calling on people. I don't like putting people on the spot. And I do this for a couple reasons. One, this is how I personally feel most comfortable. And so that's what I've adopted in my spaces. But two, it's really important for you not to feel pressured that you're going to get called on unexpectedly. And also for you to develop the muscle of opting in, the muscle of jumping in the conversation. It's so beautiful to get to practice that in a space that's designed for you and designed for that. And some of that courage that you build in the room with the women is going to follow you to your work meetings and translate into your work meetings. So I wanted to share that just because one question that I get about this program is like, well, I'm on the quiet side and I'm nervous about being in a group and feeling, hesitant to participate and talk. And what I will say is that you will never be forced to participate, but I have a strong belief and a strong suspicion that you will soon desire to participate, and that fear won't be present throughout the entire program, that it will eventually start to go away, which is just a really special and profound experience. The third thing about what it's like to be in the room with me and experience my work and experience my coaching, and this surprises a lot of my clients, and I'm like, I don't know why. If anyone has insights on this, please let me know. But my coaching style is very soft. So all different coaches have all different styles. I coach based on what I have found to be most effective in my own life, like when I'm a client of a coach, and based on what I believe is the best for my clients and for this community. And for me, that is a coaching space that is very compassionate, very soft, very understanding, very welcoming, very loving. There are coaches out there who are more kind of intense and they'll push you, and it's called like hard coaching, or, it's a little bit tougher. I personally, just based on my personality and certain things about me, I just don't do well in those environments. I'm like a baby little plant that needs like a delicate fertilizer and like some plant food and a little sprinkle of water, a lot of nurturing to sprout out of the soil. And my clients, not all, but many of them are like that as well. And that is how I like to coach, in a gentle, nurturing way. It doesn't mean that you won't be challenged to do brave things and exit your comfort zone. It's just that I like it to feel authentic. I like it to feel like it's motivated by something you truly want to do versus you being like forced by your coach. And I like it to feel like you're biting off what you can chew and not more than you can chew. Because I think when we bite off more than we can chew, we can send ourselves backwards, right? We can regress in our progress. So in my world and in my work, I'd rather take slower, more cautious steps and keep things going than take aggressive steps and then potentially end up going very far backwards. And also, I just think as humans and as women, we deserve spaces that allow us to be who we are and that are soft and welcoming. And I think that humans thrive when we feel supported and when we feel connected. And that's really, really important to me in my coaching work. And on the side of my coaching work, I get supervision and mentorship from a psychotherapist, a clinical psychotherapist, so that I can have a little bit of a deeper knowledge of how to create a very rich space for my clients to experience real growth, not surface level growth. And through that mentorship, I have learned that softer and slower and gentler is really the kind of space that I want to cultivate. Now, of course, that doesn't mean we're not going to have fun. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to be challenged, like I said. It's just that the vibe of what I do tends to be more open, more welcome, more embracing of all of who you are. That is really important to me. Another thing that you'll experience in my coaching style is this idea of going slowly and sustainably and taking small steps. A lot of people who are thinking of signing up for the last round of the Art of Speaking Up Academy were concerned about the length, that it was a long program. It's 6 months long. That's a lot to commit to. And I, of course, understand that it is a long program, but I designed it that way because I know that that is what is going to get you the best outcomes. Real change simply takes time. Feeling rushed and feeling urgent does not support sustainable change. And I believe that going slow, giving ourselves permission to go slow and take small steps, is actually the thing that catalyzes the bigger change. And I, in this program, am not looking to give you a quick fix and be like, I'm going to teach you this communication skill and send you on your way. I want you to feel differently inside by the end of the program. I want you to go into those Zoom rooms and those meetings feeling different than the person who you felt you were before you started the program. And that takes time. And so 6 months is what I've created. And that's also the minimum length of my one-on-one coaching package because I know there's enough time there for that change to begin taking place. So that's one piece. And then I have one last piece, which is just the format of the sessions and what you'll be doing. You're going to be experiencing a lot of different things in the space. There will be learning, there will be discussions, you will be coached by me, you will be doing interactive speaking exercises to help you practice and internalize some of the communication tools you'll be learning. So it's going to be highly, highly interactive. Like I said, you get to decide when you want to interact, but I really try to make it fun and dynamic and entertaining because I have a brain that gets bored really, really quickly. And I want this to be something on your calendar that you are excited for, that you are looking forward to. And that is kind of like the bright spot on your calendar for the week. So that's the overview of what it's like to be in the space with me. And like I said, if you want to dive deeper into the curriculum, you can grab it on my website, jessguzikcoaching.com/academy. The last thing I'll talk about is the power of being in a program and what it means and what can shift when you put yourself inside a program versus doing it alone. And then I will answer a few commonly asked questions. Okay. So the power of being in a program. This is so, so important because making the choice to join a program could be the difference between staying stuck and stagnant for another 6 months or finally experiencing a substantial shift at the end of 6 months. And I want to walk you through a little bit of why that is to help you make this decision of if this is right for you, especially if this is maybe your first time doing a coaching program. Maybe you've never been in a program like this before. So it's a little hard to imagine what it will be like and how and why it will help. So when you are not in a program, you are alone. You are alone in two ways. You are alone in the problem, so you aren't around other people who are having your same experience, which makes it really hard to build confidence because in addition to what you're experiencing, there's a sense of alienation, a sense of otherness, a sense of being an outsider, and that makes it really hard then to grow through the problem. And you're alone in your thoughts and you're alone in how you're making sense of the problem and how you're making sense of your experience. And what I find with the women that I support is when they're alone in that, the way that they make sense of their struggle to speak up and feel confident is often to create a narrative that is highly self-critical. So they make sense of their struggle and they understand their struggle in ways that sound like something is wrong with me. I shouldn't be this way. I'm so broken. I'm unfixable. I'm terrible. I'm awkward. And when you have those thoughts and those feelings, it becomes really hard then to support yourself, to exit your comfort zone and be brave and take some of the small steps and inspired risks that are going to help you break out of that and build the confidence. And so when you're part of this program, you are no longer alone in all those judgmental thoughts about yourself. And you get to be in a space where those thoughts not only get aired out, but challenged in a beautiful, constructive, inspirational way. Because the truth is, struggling with confidence or your voice or feeling bad about yourself professionally, whatever it might be, nothing is wrong with you and nothing is wrong with that. And the more that you can have understanding and compassion for yourself through that experience, the faster you're going to get out of that experience and unstuck from that experience. And it is really hard to get out of that experience and unstuck from it when you're alone in your head with those critical thoughts. It just starts to feel like the truth about you, that something is wrong, that you can't do this, that you're not smart enough, that you don't belong in the room. It starts just feeling like true, like reality. And you put yourself in this program and you create a new reality that helps you over time let go of those judgments, let go of those thoughts, and step into new, more empowering behaviors. And that is the power of being in a room with people who share your struggle, share your goals, and being in a room where you're going to have new tools and resources to support you in breaking out of those patterns, in taking the confident action, and in communicating in a way that you know is effective and powerful. So I feel so strongly about having support, about having community, about not trying to do everything and take on everything alone. It's certainly how I've approached my own life and my own, decision to work with coaches and things like that. I've seen the power of it and I believe in the power of it so strongly. So those are the key things that I wanted to cover before I get into frequently asked questions. And now I will get into the FAQs for the program. So the first question that I get often is, I am quiet. I'm not someone who's super extroverted or super talkative. I'm concerned about being in this group environment, what that's going to be like for me. Am I going to be able to get value out of the program? And I would say if you have that feeling, this program was designed for you. That's literally who I created it for. And I understand your experience because that's an experience that I've had myself. So I will say a couple things. One is, if that's the pattern that you're in, this program is designed to help you in an empowered way break out of and shake out of that pattern, but you're never going to be forced to join in the conversation. You can always be part of the Zoom room as an audience member, as an observer. However, my goal is to inspire you to want to break out of that. Not from a place of forcing yourself and cringing and feeling like you're going to puke, from a place of feeling like you really can do it. And from a place of it starting to feel natural. And if I do say so myself, I am pretty good at that. So you can trust that if you feel hesitant speaking up, if you're concerned about what it will be like in this group environment, I've got you. I've got that. And this is designed to help you wherever you're at, help you navigate through that and still get value from the program, no matter how you choose to engage. You get to choose to engage at the pace and in the way that is right for you. I just want you to be open to surprising yourself. Just be open to pleasantly surprising yourself. That is the first question. The second question I get quite a bit, which is awesome and makes me so happy, is this program a fit for someone who is not in a corporate role? And the answer is yes. So in this cohort, not every single woman is in a corporate 9-to-5 role. And I've also, in my one-on-one work, worked with clients who are not necessarily in corporate, so industries like the academic world, medicine, doctors, etc. And the main way that you know that a program like this is a fit for you is just that your role involves communicating with other people and being in rooms with other people. That's the big thing, right? So whether the thing you're working on is a project in a corporate environment, or whether the thing you're working on is, let's say you're in the medical field, is like a diagnosis for a patient, if there's a component of human-to-human communication, information sharing, problem solving, then the concepts that you're going to learn in this program will apply to you. So to kind of do a sanity check on whether this is a fit for you, ask yourself, am I trying to be confident? Am I trying to get better communication skills? And are those things important for my career? If you answer yes to all three of those, then for sure this program will be a fit for you. The other common question that I've gotten is, what if I miss a session? This is a 6-month program, so I'm not sure I'll be able to attend every single session. How will that work? And I will share with you that because it's a small group, I can pretty much make sure that as long as you're not missing like tons and tons of sessions, you will not fall behind. There's no way you will fall behind. So after every session, you get the session content, which includes everything that I covered in the session. And you also have access to me in between sessions. So we have a private Facebook group where you can ask questions. So if you miss a session and you're reviewing the session content and you get stuck on something, I will be there to help you through it. And often when we have one of our women miss a session and we then pick up again the following week, we will do a quick recap to make sure that everyone feels on the same page and up to speed. So falling behind or feeling like you're falling behind is very unlikely to happen. I don't record the sessions because it's very important for me that the participants feel very comfortable. And so I prefer not to record because I know for me, when I know something isn't being recorded, there's a certain freedom that comes along with it. That being said, if there's a session where a bunch of women are going to be missing it and the group feels comfortable recording that session, then I will make an exception. And so it's flexible. But the main point here is you don't need to attend every single session. And it's probably likely that there will be one or two that you can't attend, but you will still learn the material and you will not fall behind, especially if you're willing to spend a little bit of time that week reviewing the materials and then coming with any questions that you might have. So that brings us to the end of this bonus episode, and I hope this helped you better understand the program. I know that making a leap into a program like this can feel very scary. I'm just putting myself in your shoes of times where I've joined programs. You're kind of wondering, like, is this going to work? Am I going to regret this? Is this actually going to help me? And I would say just trust your instincts and try to decide from the version of you who you want to become, right? Ask yourself, what would the confident version of you do? The version of you who believes that you're going to succeed no matter what? What choice does she make? Does she want to put herself in this program? Does she want to put herself in this room? If there's anything that you want to ask me and that you want to talk through with me, you can send me an email anytime and I will circle back with you as soon as I can. My email is jessica@theartofspeakingup.com and I will pop that in the show notes. Like I said, enrollment for the Art of Speaking Up Academy will be open until May 23rd or until the cohort is full, whatever happens first. And if you're listening to this way after enrollment closed, you can still head over to my website, jessguzitcoaching.com/academy. and add yourself to the wait list, which means you'll be the first to be notified whenever the next cohort does enroll. So it is so good to have you here. It is so fun to get to talk about my program, and hopefully this was really helpful for you. Reach out if you have any other questions. If you decide to take the plunge, I am so excited to meet you and get to know you and to hear about your goals and dreams and to get to support you in making them come true. It is such an honor to get to do that work. That is why I love being a coach. So if I get to see you inside and do that work with you, I will be so pumped. I am wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.